Did you know that your father got out?
He's a dangerous man, Calvin. Be careful.
We came back, and they spat on us at the airport. No homecoming parade, no celebrations.
You can't pretend like you have any idea what it's like to be in combat.
No, but what I do know is this field of work that I've dedicated my life to has helped a lot of people.
Hello there, Vondie and Stephen. How are you doing?
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Well, how are you?
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for an absolutely wonderful film. I've just watched it again today, and well, it's just so good. Congratulations to the whole team. It's fantastic.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you.
I mean, the reason that it struck me so sad is, I mean, I've not been to war, I've not been a soldier, but I've struggled with OCD and anxiety all my life. I even studied a degree in psychology, hoping that maybe fixed me a little bit. So it really resonated strongly with me with the film. Something that was particularly resonated with me was the fact that one of the underlying tensions in the film is this clinical caution, if you will, around compassion fatigue. This idea that emotional investment of the health carers can endanger both the therapist and the patient. No. But at the same time, Sheepdog, the whole film kind of resists that detachment completely. Instead, it commits to an ethical vision of veterans are approached not as statistics, but rather as individuals who are shaped by the loss, the memory, and the grief. So I'm really curious. Was it specifically kind of stories of veterans, or did you think it was also time to make the film now, because it's also very vital in this age where personal engagement and human empathy are increasingly rare and scarce? No.
Whoa, what an intro. Okay.
Loaded
All
question.
right.
I apologize, but it just hit me
No,
so
I'm just like,
sense.
all right, that was action packed. Well, first off, thank you. Thank you for being so thoughtful, Howard, and just sharing your own personal insight into that. And that's obviously very intuitive. Yeah, like where it began with that compassion fatigue is like I actually witnessed that. So I had an office at the VA for years, and I was very lucky in Detroit. They trusted me to role play with their doctors and sit in on sessions and so on. And compassion fatigue is something that came up. Like if like I would see, especially therapists in training that were um doing, showing up to work every day, trying to make a difference, trying to make a difference in the life of that veteran, and not willing to sort of just be status quo, just be a part of the system, wanting to, that blurred line of your own humanity kind of coming into it. And so, I thought for our story, which is very unique, in its storytelling, is that we're picking up 10 years after my character's last deployment. And I thought that was really important because so much life, Howard, has lived in that time, right? Rather than a lot of the films that we've seen where they're showing us, that soldier or Marine transitioning out in the first couple months. And that's an interesting story as well. But for us, I wanted to show the experience that I had immersed in this world, which is 2011, I went on that first road trip, but I've remained friends with so many of the veterans and mental health workers that I'd met with. So I was able to see their journey and then write a story sort of loosely inspired by those collective journeys.
Just as a little side note, that I was very curious because it has been on such a long journey, and we've had the COVID lockdown in the middle, where obviously there was a huge spike in anxiety and all kinds of
Yeah.
the same kind of mental health problems. I'm curious, did your story change any way there because of that spike and because of how people were kind of trying to get through anxiety and grief and loss?
Um, there's two parts to this. We were still shooting the movie during COVID, right? So we had to do all the tests and everything. So there was anxiety in the real world in that.
Sure.
Yeah, I think like look, like there's a lot of people that I think that will relate to this story just based on even their our film doesn't touch on any aspect of COVID in the actual storytelling, but just being just being a recluse by nature or feeling disconnected from your community, right? Which is, I mean, I'm sure we can all remember a moment, even if you were standing in a grocery store and you were looking around where they were letting us back in, but we all had to wear masks. I know in California anyway, and all the social distancing and all that. And I remember having a moment of being like, this is wild that we just quickly adapted to this, and because we have to survive, we have, that's the law. We have to get our groceries, we have to eat. But I was just thinking about that, and I guess in some ways, talking about anxiety, yeah, I think that there's a lot of people that can relate to managing that anxiety, especially in a social setting.
Mhm. And then a couple to that, obviously, both of your characters are they're veterans. They've gone through but very different experiences. So, Vondie, obviously, Whitney arrives as it's kind of a disruptive force at first, because he's a veteran who's been shaped by a very different war and a very different kind of reception when he came home. So
Yeah.
I'm quite curious. I know that your upbringing was during the Vietnamese War. So I'm quite, and I understand you were exposed to veterans as well. So I'm quite curious how that informed the moral weight that you brought to your character by comparison
Well,
to Steven's character.
yeah. Well, I think initially it's about the script. When I read the script, I felt this is a wonderful journey for me to take, and finding that part of myself to take this journey. Now, when I think about my friends, the folks that I came up with during this era, it was so impactful because I'm from Michigan. I'm from Detroit. And in many ways, some folks felt that was a way to get out. They, were coming out of high school, and so I saw them come home. I saw some not come home. I saw some folks come home wounded. I saw folks come home wounded and emotionally and physically. And then ultimately to not have the reception for the effort, for the putting your life on the line, serving your country. So to not have that ticker tape parade, to not feel appreciated. So that was the journey that I wanted to take and pull from the folks that I knew, even to my friend who recently is receiving benefits because of Agent Orange. He has cancer now. So yeah, it was definitely a journey that I thought would be impactful.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and as dark and as sad as the story is, that everything that happens, thankfully, there's a kind of silver lining in the story. Because the film is very deeply concerned about post-traumatic growth as well, about losing everything, but getting stronger because you lose everything. I mean, there's a fantastic quote. Whitney says, "Pain is relative. Sometimes we've got to fall apart to find ourselves all over again." No, so just before they pulled me out, as the old veteran in the film, Vondie, what unexpected truths did the story reveal to you about survival and renewal?
That one key has to keep putting that one foot in front of the other to continue. I mean, and not harbor the feeling, the sense of not being fairly treated, being wrongly accused, losing your family. And sometimes you've gotta just keep going. And ultimately that journey is finding yourself again. And I think it's with both characters. I think with Steven's character and with my character, renewal. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, listen, they're pulling me out. I could speak to you for days about this film. There's so much to unpack. But thank you so much for the time, so much for the film, and I wish you the best of success with the release, and hope to speak to you again sometime soon, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Howard. Yeah, let's do it again. I appreciate you so much.
My pain is relative, son. Sometimes we gotta fall apart to find ourselves all over again.
You were willing to give your life for your country. Now maybe you can try living for it.